We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I represented the United States in the Olympics in 1996 and won a gold medal. Then I parlayed that into a pro wrestling career. I saw a commercial a few years ago.
Tunnel to Towers Foundation made a promise.
The Tunnel to Towers Foundation is paying off the mortgages for Gold Star families with young children. I thought, this is really cool. I want to be a part of it. My dad served in the Army for 30 years. We didn't have a lot of money, but he made sure we had what we needed. He set a great example for all of us. He died in a construction accident my freshman year in high school. When he died, we didn't have any income coming in, and we ended up being forced to move out of our house. I was devastated. So I understand what these families are going through, and to have an organization like Tunnel to Towers come in and pick you up and carry you and give you a home to live in, I think that's just amazing. I'd like to ask you to donate $11 a month to support these efforts by going to t2t.org or calling 1-844-BRAVEST.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the race books and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning. All righty. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas program, coming to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, right here at our studio station at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard, your gaming capital, and the South Point Studios and the South Point Studios streaming network at YouTube. We welcome you to the show, as well as all of our listeners on our anchor radio station here in town, Sports Talk 1400 AM 107.1 FM. We welcome you to the show. And I guess the big news today, it's a twofold big news today, okay? It's a horse that is defected from the Kentucky Derby and the weather that still lingers out there. Now, the weatherman says there's going to be something called a nor'easter, which is, you might think it's something that has to do with a holiday, but it's not. Nor'easter is a condition of northern winds that come from the north instead of across from east to west from the north that goes down through the east coast. That's why they call it a nor'easter, and they think they're going to get a nor'easter on the east coast and the northeastern racetracks and states this weekend. So here's what we have going on. As far as the weather is concerned, we have cancellations today at Aqueduct, Turfway Park, Oak Lawn Park, and Charleston. All right. Charlestown has been canceled today. Charlestown also put out a bulletin that said in their attempts to get their card in tomorrow, Saturday, they are going to adjust the post time to an earlier post time tomorrow. So we'll keep it posted on that. Okay? So those are the cancellations today. And then Aqueduct yesterday, as a result of the prediction of the nor'easter that should be coming in this weekend with high winds, that Aqueduct decided ahead of time to let everybody know ahead of time that they are now canceling Saturday and Sunday as well. So there will not be any racing at Aqueduct tomorrow or Sunday as a result of what they call the cold wind chills. Okay? So that takes care of Aqueduct for the rest of the week. Of course, on Saturday at the Withers Stakes for the 3-year-olds with Kentucky Derby points attached to it was to be held on Saturday. So the Withers is now going to be delayed. Obviously, the whole card is delayed tomorrow. And they have not set a date for the Withers Stakes as a result of the cancellation. They have not set a date yet. Should be, I'm sure it'll be next week sometime. At Oak Lawn Park, as you know, Saturday was, this weekend really, they were going to host the Southwest Stakes, a $1 million race for 3-year-olds that also held Kentucky Derby points to it. And that Southwest Stakes has now been transferred to a week from today, next Friday. They'll hold the Southwest Stakes that was going to be this weekend, next weekend at Oak Lawn Park. So those two Kentucky Derby future points, Kentucky Derby points races will be next week sometime. All right. And so the only race this weekend that has Kentucky Derby leaderboard points to it is the Holy Bull out at Gulfstream Park. And with all these cancellations with Oak Lawn and Aqueduct and several other racetracks, the tracks that normally don't get a lot of attention, like Turf Paradise, for example. You've got, of course, Gulfstream Park and Fairgrounds getting a lot of attention. Their handles are going up because, hey, we're race players. We want to play the races, and a lot of the tracks are still canceled because of the Arctic deep freeze that happened last week. And there are still some portions of this country that are still blacked out. They don't have, they have blackouts still there as a result of the winter system that went through earlier this week and late last week. So that's where it stands right now. Those are the 4 cancellations for today: Aqueduct, Turfway, Oak Lawn, and Charlestown. And Aqueduct, as I said again, has canceled again for tomorrow and Sunday. So no racing at the Big A for this entire week, really, because of the weather conditions on the East Coast. Now, the other big news of the day. The Kentucky Derby future book favorite, the Eclipse Award-winning 2-year-old and the winner of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, Ted Nafi, has been declared out of the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont. Ted Nafi will not participate in this year's Triple Crown. Folks made that announcement about later in the afternoon yesterday. He's out of the Triple Crown because he has a bone bruise. They say a severe bone bruise. And it's going to take about 90 days to heal the bone bruise. And so now he is targeting a return to the races and his first 3-year-old, a race as a 3-year-old, for the Saratoga meeting. So Ted Nafi is out. Now, you know that Jonathan Ardoon has said more than once on this show that if you're betting future book bets this early and not getting a huge price on the horse, it is really very risky and you shouldn't do it. Well, he was right there because Ted Nafi, in the 3 pools, the Kentucky Derby Parimutuel Future Book pools hosted by the Churchill Downs, the 3 pools that have already been bet into and closed, pools 1, 2, and 3, all had Ted Nafi as the individual favorite closing in those pools. In pool 1, he had an odds of 10-1. In pool 2, he was at odds of 7-1. And the most recent one, pool 3, he closed at 6-1. So Ted Naffy becomes the first Kentucky Derby future book bet to be a souvenir for all the people who played it now. Ted Naffy out of the Triple Crown. Another horse, another Eclipse Award winner that will miss an expected start is She's So Spicy. She's So Spicy will miss the Saudi Turf Sprint that will be held on the 14th of next month. She developed an infection after last week's breeze, and so she will be out. She's So Spicy will not contest on the Saudi Cup night of racing in the turf sprint there. Jockey Umberto Rispoli is going to have his second surgery. I imagine he might have already had his second surgery this morning in Florida to repair the damages that happened in that spill on Sunday at Gulfstream. And he then will be flown back to California early next week, and they say the prognosis is he's going to have months off. They're not quite sure exactly because when you have these type of injuries, it depends on the individual when they go to rehab, et cetera, on how quickly they heal. But he's going to be out of commission for several months. So our thoughts go out to Umberto Rispoli, who is at the moment, believe it or not, the leading jockey at Santa Anita at this very moment. But that'll change probably by the weekend is over at Santa Anita. In any case, so that's the latest news that we have here. And of course, we'll be looking at those big races out at Gulfstream Park this weekend. So that's what we have so far. As far as the temperatures are concerned around the country, all I can say is here it's 40 degrees out right now. We're going to get up to 67. But by tomorrow and Sunday, we're going to hit 70. And into next week, we're going to creep up a couple of degrees, even above 70 for the daytime highs here in Las Vegas. As far as the rest of the country today, you got New York's high is going to be 21 degrees. I know it's much colder there right now, and Jonathan will explain when he gets on the air with us. You've got Tampa. Tampa Bay is 71, so there'll be good racing there at Tampa Bay today. And Miami, also 71 for racing today at Gulfstream Park. They will be racing today on a beautiful day in Southern California. Racing returns at Santa Anita, and it'll be 84 degrees and sunny in Southern California today, although the racing card is not as beautiful as maybe the weather might be, but they'll be racing today at Santa Anita with 84 degrees there. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, the hottest spot in the nation today. So take that, Brownsville, Texas, which today will only be in Brownsville is only going to get up to 65 degrees today there. So there. And, of course, Phoenix, Arizona, where Turf Paradise is at 78 degrees. So you can see that that the line that goes across and dips down into the south on the east as it goes up the East Coast, that frigid temperature is there. Everything below it is nice and sunny weather. As far as the actual precipitation is concerned, not a problem. The only precipitation we can see on the weather map is way up in the northwest between Washington and Oregon there. And so that's the way the temperatures will roll out and the racing will roll out today. Looking ahead to the just the brief results that we have from yesterday. At the fairgrounds yesterday, Paco Lopez got his first win of the day in the second race for Joe Sharp, paying $6.20. Marcelino Pedrosa had a multiple win day. His first win came in the third race for Sturgis DeCoing, paying $4 even. And then in the fourth race, our man Jonathan Hardoon came with a horse for the show, and that was Contemplation with James Graham aboard. That horse won and paid $11 even. So we want to thank Jonathan for staying hot today, this weekend, I should say, and into this week. An $11 winner there for James Graham on Contemplation and Jonathan Hardoon's pick there. Rich Eng also came with a pick in that race. His horse ran third. So the Siraco play between Jonathan and Richie got split again yesterday. Jonathan's winner was trained by Mike Stidham. The fifth race gave Marcelino Pedrosa his second win of the day for Juan Sanchez, paying $12.60. Paco Lopez checked in for his second win of the day for Lindsey Schultz, in the 6th race paying $660. And then the 7th race winner paid $760. The 8th race was the biggie. The 8th race, the winner there, Coffee County, came up on the outside in a blanket finish on the turf and paid $50 to win, with the Sophie Vives aboard in the saddle there. And then the 9th race winner paid $18 even. That was Marcelino Pedrosa's third win of the day for Rosa Ramirez, $18 even there. Now, I just gave you all of the prices that within the pick six, starting out with Jonathan's horse in the $11, $12.60, $6.60, $7.60, $50, and $18. That late pick five of those, exempt of Jonathan's first winner there at $11, the late pick five paid $18,153.40. Now, you know they have a jackpot at the fairgrounds in the pick six. Somebody, one individual ticket, put it all together. The pick six yesterday at the fairgrounds was an Allburger, paying $163,437.12. That at the fairgrounds yesterday. And at Gulfstream Park, first race became very interesting when the first race, two horses bumped in mid-stretch so hard that one of the jockeys fell off his horse. Now, the incident happened between Sir Guinness with David Egan aboard and the town with Ired Ortiz Jr. aboard. Now, Ired stayed on his horse when he bumped into Egan. Egan fell off of his horse. But all the horses and jockeys were okay in that race at Gulfstream. And there was an inquiry with no change in that race. The winner of that race that avoided all of that mess in mid-stretch was Nickel C. Nickel C with Tyler Gaffleone for David Fox paid $13 even in the opener. Ired Ortiz Jr. came back in the second race for his first win of the day for Happy Altar, paying $8.20. Ortiz won the fourth race for his second win for Safi Joseph Jr., paying $8.20. And trainer Carlos David has been going hot right now at Gulfstream. He had a couple of winners yesterday. His first winner came in the fifth race with Edwin Gonzalez aboard, paying $3.60. And then Carlos David came right back in the sixth race for back-to-back wins. This one with Miguel Vasquez, paying $7.80. And then in the ninth race, Ired Ortiz Jr. got his third win of the day with trainer Sal Santoro, a prohibitive odds-on favorite there, paid $2.80. And then the final race, Ired capped off the day with 4 wins out of the 10 races yesterday at Gulfstream. Ired's winner, his fourth win came for Richard Dutrow Jr., paying $8.80. And our man Jonathan Ardune's pick in that race finished third. Pick 6. Are you ready for this? The pick 6 paid $172.96. A lot of favorites yesterday at Gulfstream. All righty, you're caught up from yesterday and all the top news of this day. We'll take our first break, and when we come back, we'll give you your racing menu for today. And then off with our handicappers, Jonathan Ardune, Rich Eng, John Lindo, and Jerry J. So don't go away.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. As you know, you've already got the weather and the racing conditions out there. Although one of our chatters on the chat box says he's in Miami, and he said that is it about to rain in Miami. And he said it looks, the skies look very ominous out there. So I want to thank our chatter for that, giving us the latest on the weather that surrounds Gulfstream Park. Here now is your racing menu for today, reminding you, as we always do, that the first post times we broadcast on this show each and every day reflect that of the Pacific time zone. So if you're in the Pacific time zone here, no problem. These will be the first post times that roll out in our race books today at the South Point here in Las Vegas. But if you're not in the Pacific time zone with all the platforms that we have out there around the world, we know a lot of you are in another time zone, adjust from the Pacific time zone to the Pacific time zone, I should say, from the anywhere time zone that you're at. Just tweak it out so it'll be right, okay? We don't want you to miss anything. Like I miss Mom and Dad, okay? We begin with Laurel Park. They have 10 races today at Laurel, and a first post time of 9 a.m. at Laurel Park today. Laurel Park has first post time is at 9 o'clock. They got I believe, a small carryover there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, pick six jackpot carryover, $494 at Laurel today. First post time is at 9 a.m. Okay, next up comes Gulfstream Park. Now, you heard it might very well be starting to rain there at Gulfstream. Of course, the rain there in that particular area of the country, it comes and goes real quick, so we'll wait and see about that. Gulfstream Park has a Pick 6 Rainbow Jackpot carryover of $72,800. $72,800 in the Gulfstream Park Pick 6 Rainbow Jackpot carryover. They have 10 races today, and their first post time is at 9:20. Just as an FYI, in case the turf races come off, we haven't said that yet, but in case they do come off, races 1, 5, 7, and 10 are scheduled to run on the turf today. They're still on the turf, however, right now. First post time is at 9:20. Tampa Bay Downs has 9 races today. Tampa Bay Downs has a Pick 6 jackpot carryover of $9,729. Their first post time at Tampa Bay for their 9 race cars is set at 9:30 at Tampa Bay. And then we go to the Fairgrounds, Nolens. Fairgrounds has 8 races today. Their first post time at the Fairgrounds is set at 10:45 at the Fairgrounds today. And as you know, they unloaded the Pick 6 there yesterday. So first post time is at 10:45 at the Fairgrounds for 8 races today. And then we get to Santa Anita in Southern California, where at least we know the weather will be beautiful. 8 races today at Santa Anita. First post time is at 12:30 at Santa Anita today for their 8 race card. And then we wrap it up with Delta Downs. Delta Downs has 9 races, and their first post time is at 2:45 at Delta. And that is it for today. Let's get out to Jonathan Hardoon standing by now. Jonathan, I recited the high today in New York weather when I did the weather report as far as the temperatures, but I know you were telling me before the show that it's a lot colder right now where you're at.
Yeah, up in Saratoga, it's minus 5 degrees.
Minus 5. Oh, my goodness.
And that's without help from the wind chill factor. It's just, I've never seen such a stretch of coldness. You know, you get a couple of days here, a couple of days there, but for the last 10 days, it is one day is colder than the next. It's really horrible, but it is what it is.
Jonathan, real quick, are you in the path of that nor'easter that's going to come down?
Yeah, but they said that it's not going to be snow. They originally predicted snow, but supposedly we're going to miss the snow, but we're not going to miss the cold weather. And there's a thing called a cyclone boom. Or I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah,
but
the boom cyclone.
Whoever's going to get that, good luck to them.
The nor'easter, right now they say the nor'easter, this one that's coming through there, is more of a wind chill. The winds will be high and it'll be cold. So, and that's
why they canceled the aqueduct on Sunday, because of the winds and.
And tomorrow too, though. They canceled the whole week now.
Yeah, a full week without racing in New York. It's been a while since that happened.
Yeah, no kidding. They'll be jonesing to get started again. At least hopefully we'll have a few more larger fields at Aqueduct since we've been watching some of the short fields there. But as I said, even with the cancellations that happened earlier at the opening of Santa Anita, with the rain there, when the horses don't go out on the racetrack, and they have to exercise every day. So are they keeping the training, at least a portion of the racetrack for Aqueduct Open?
I heard a lot of horses that have been working in the jogging barn. It's called a jogging barn, where
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
barn indoors.
Hmm.
I guess they do 2-minute licks or whatever.
Yeah,
The
it's
training
underneath.
track, I think, was opened yesterday or the day before. It was closed when they got all that snow earlier in the week.
Yeah. And the reason for that is horses do have to exercise every day. And when they get backed up on their exercise, they get backed up from their fitness. And then it takes a while, like a rippling
It
effect, to
throws
get them.
everything out of whack.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And
everything's thrown out of whack.
and
That's the
that'll and
problem.
that will show up in the entry and the entry box even when they start racing again. So we'll wait and see about that. It's still somehow or another that being one of the elements, I think, of condition that's that's showing all these short fields in Southern California at Santa Anita. I mean, it's beautiful weather there now, and I know that these horses have to catch up as they did when the track was closed during the bad weather there. But today at Santa Anita, and we haven't raced there since the weekend. The first race has 6 in it, the second 5, the third 6, the fourth 7, the fifth 6 horses. The 6th horse got a bulky field of 9, as well as the 7th race at 9. But the 8th race, lo and behold, we got a 10-horse field. This is all, ladies and gentlemen, before any scratches.
Yeah, but it is slim picking, certainly the early part of the card. And some of those races that have full fields in them, I think one of them is a maiden race with first time starters and everything else. The card is not that good, but listen, we'll take anything at this point. We're running out of tracks to play, Ralph.
And Jonathan, also, uh, it was kind of that type of condition, I think, on Sunday at Santa Anita, where in addition to that,
Oh,
the favorites were hitting. The early pick 5 paid like $6 and change. The early pick 5 paid $15 and change. I'm sorry. The early pick 4 paid $6. So you had a $15 pick 5 and a $6 and change pick 4. Boy, you got to hit those right on the mark to make any money when you cash the ticket.
you got to be crazy to play them. And if they come in, the track should refund you, you bet, because you tried. And it's just, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
I guess people would have to bump it up to maybe a $10 pick 4, $10 pick
How about
5.
you spent and pick threes? You'd probably be better off because
Yeah.
even though the pick threes probably paid $3, it's easier than picking 5 and getting $15, right?
Yeah. It was pretty chalky on Sunday at Santa Anita, but hopefully it'll be better. Now today, with the ominous skies over Gulfstream and some sort of precipitation expected at the racetrack, how much we don't know, but in any case, in that part of the country, they've got those storms that come through and pour rain for about 15 minutes and then it leaves and all that stuff there. But in any case, Gulfstream Park might have a few races that get a lot of scratches because they might come off the turf there.
But even when they come off the turf, they move to Tapeta, and
Yeah.
believe it or not, the fields stay intact for the most part. That's the only good thing about Tapeta, in my opinion.
Well, okay, that's good news because Gulfstream Park looked like it was a pretty good betting card today.
Yeah, I mean, this is their championship meet. If they don't have good racing now, when are they going to have it, right?
Right. Now, I know you want to make a comment or two about Ted Nafi.
It's a terrible thing, Ralph. I have a horse actually that's hurt and also on the sidelines with a bruised foot. It takes forever for them to come back. And when a 2-year-old, which now turned 3, gets a foot bruise, well, they're going to miss the Derby trail. And unfortunately, it happened to Ted Nafi, who at this point was the favorite. He's never done anything wrong. He was impressive in the Breeders' Cup. It's just unfortunate, and it's part of the game. But that's why we keep preaching to people, if you're betting these ridiculous future bets, demand a price. Demand a price. Because this isn't the first one that's going to be scratch, Ralph. Believe me, you're going to get a bunch of them, and they happen to be the favorite.
And being the 2-year-old champion and Eclipse Award champion of the year before, is almost like a jinx, especially the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. I think only two horses that ever won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile actually stayed together enough and won the Derby in the history of the Eclipse Awards, I think. I know one of them, of course, American Pharoah, but
Right.
might have been Street
But you're
Sense
right,
too.
Ralph.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to keep. They're so delicate, and they're built upside down. You got these 1,500-pound animals on four little legs, and so much could go wrong. Just sitting in the stall, they can get hurt. So to predict who's going to win 6 months down the road, there's just 6 to 1 or 5 to 1, whatever the horse was. You got to be crazy. First of all, you're tying your money up for 5 or 6 months to get 6 to 1 or 5 to 1. There's got to be a better investment than that.
And not only that, but when you have a horse like you are experiencing now with a horse, there are a lot of different injuries that can affect horses differently. But a foot bruise is a bruise that's within, and the horse has to naturally heal it. Now you can do some things with it as far as ointments, etc., but it has to naturally heal. And sometimes the mentality of the horse don't understand that he's really shouldn't be doing too much. And you get a horse like Ted Nafi, who's been wound up and is such at a high level of competition that putting him on the sidelines and trying to get him geared down, that's a job within itself to keep the horse from re-injuring himself by just sitting around getting pent up.
Yeah, well, most of the horses with that kind of injury, I think they spend most of the time in the stall. They're not going to turn them out and things like that because
Right.
they're only going to re-hurt it or re-aggravate the situation. I'm no vet. I just listen to what they say.
Right.
And again, it's a tough injury. Obviously, it could have been worse, but it's 3 or 4 months off, and that's just this is the wrong time of the year if you have a 3-year-old that you want him to be out 3 to 4 months.
Right.
That's
And
not going to work.
my meaning did not mean that they were going to take the horse out and do anything with him, because that you got to keep a horse as much stationary as possible to get the bruise eased. But man, they stay in those stalls too long and they get a little bit
Wound
confined.
up, yeah.
They can kick the wall.
Especially high-strung horses.
Yeah.
I mean, they walk them and do things like that, but they're not getting on top of their
No.
backs. I don't think so.
Yeah, certainly. And I've seen a lot of horses get really injured badly by just kicking the side of the stall.
Yeah.
Well, so we'll wait and see about that. Anyhow, we look ahead to this weekend. I guess the only Kentucky Derby points race is the Holy Bull out at Gulfstream Park. We went over some of the thoughts about that on yesterday's show, I believe. But they have put the odds up now on those horses, and nearly one of the horses that you were talking about yesterday was installed the 9-5 favorite. And the other horse, the one that kind of I like that I saw run and ran big, Cannoneer, is the 2-1 second choice in that race. And again, you've got Butane scratched because Bob Baffert, the horse, didn't make the flight because of all the flight delays, etc. And Came For It is still in the race, but is expected to scratch out, right?
Yeah, he's supposedly going to the Sam F. Davis at Tampa in a few weeks,
In a
so
few weeks,
they're
yeah.
probably going to scratch that one too. It's going to leave a field, I guess, of 7. It's an interesting race. You have some horses off of Laos, but I'm sure we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do that tomorrow. In the meantime, I want to thank you for that $11 winner at the fairgrounds. That was a nice, solid win. And a great ride by James Graham. I have talked to you about this on the show. James Graham, in that part of the country, he is my number one long shot rider. He rides a lot of horses at a lot of good prices, and he outperforms the odds on his horses a lot. Now, he was only 9-2 yesterday with his horse yesterday, but he still beat an odds-on favorite. I think it was a 3-5 shot in that race. He beat that horse.
10 horse was 3-5,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
he gave him a terrific ride.
Yeah.
And you were right. He could ride, no question about it.
yeah, just stayed right in there, tucked on the inside, and found his hole at the top of the stretch and polished off the win at $11. So we're going to use some of that money to parlay today as you keep the mojo going there, Jonathan.
All right, so we're going to look at Gulfstream and look at race number 2. It's 5 furlongs on Tapeta, and you were talking about Carlos David, Ralph. Carlos
Yeah.
David is 16 for his last 28. 16 for 28.
Wow.
Do the math. That's more than 50%. That's pretty good.
No kidding.
Anyway, he sends it. Yeah, he sends out the number 3 horse in here, McMullen, and this is a 4-year-old gelding that he claimed 2 starts back. Rider switch today. He's putting on an apprentice, which will guarantee us somewhat of a price. The horse is listed at 9-2 on the morning line. Mia Nichols, I've never heard of her, but she is 2 for 10, so obviously she could win races. I like number 3, McMullen, second race today out at Gulfstream. 9-2 on the morning line to win today's second race.
Well, usually when you put a bug boy on, at least in the old days, was the old saying, put the bug boy on, get him out on the lead, and just keep going. And so maybe maybe that'll be the MO today in the second race. And it's only a 5-furlong race, so he doesn't have to be on the lead too long to get the win.
By the way, the interesting thing about Carlos David is the 16 out of 28 races that he's won, believe it or not, majority of them are on Tapeta. I don't know. Yesterday, both races he won, both of them on Tapeta. Last Saturday, when he won a couple of races, they were on Tapeta. So he's got a lot of success on Tapeta, which is interesting.
Yes, he could be our Tapeta trainer.
There you go.
The Tapeta trainer.
Maybe he uses special shoes. Who knows what he's doing, but whatever he's doing is working on Tapeta.
Yeah, so. Nice call. Nice catch there, too, by the way, Jonathan. Second race, the 3 at Gulfstream. But I know you probably found something at Santa Anita you can hang your hat on.
I did, and it wasn't easy, Ralph. Second race today. I like the number 1 horse in here, Shamrock, and a 5-year-old mare from the Paula Gary barn. I like the rider switch to Hector Barrios, and I like the fact short field, but there's a lot of speed in here. There's at least 2 horses that'll be gunning for the lead. This horse should get a great trip in here. Number 1, Shamrock, and 7-2 on the morning line is a pick 5 single in today's second race out at Santa Anita.
And I would imagine he'd be a pick 4 single for the early pick 4 as well. Second race, 6 furlongs. Barrios aboard, 6 furlongs on the turf. You talk about Carlos David with the Tapeta racetrack. You know how good Barrios is on the turf there in Southern California. So you have him on your horse, the 1 horse, Shamrockin'. And it's only a 5-horse field, but I got to tell you, folks, there's a 7-5 and a 9-5 shot in there, and those are the 2 that are going to take a lot of money. I believe those are the 2 you're talking about that might go out there and speed it up.
By the way, the graphics is wrong because our great Sean actually made a mistake for the first time. He's putting up Fairgrounds Race 2, and it's Santa Anita, in case people are watching.
Oh, okay.
And don't want to listen to us, and they only want to read the selection.
Right.
He got it wrong.
On the graphic, Fairgrounds race second. It should be Santa Anita race second, but it's the 1 horse in the second race at Santa Anita. Jonathan's pick, Shamrockin'. Okay. Well, you got sheets for what? You've got Santa Anita and Gulfstream. We know. What about Fairgrounds? You got one there too?
Fairgrounds, we have selections up on the website.
Okay,
correct. But
so
there's a chance of rain there, so I didn't put anything out on the show.
Okay, so in other words, you got 3 sheets: Santa Anita, Gulfstream, and the Fairgrounds. Right? Where?
JONHARDOON.com. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you. Try to stay warm there, Jonathan, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Be well and stay safe. Thank you.
All right, you got it, my man. Okay, we're going to go to our next break. When we come back, we got Rich Eng standing by. Don't go away.
Thank you, buddy.
There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans.
Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you.
Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting t2t.org.
Ready to ramp up your excitement for playoff football? Join our hosts as they break down the matchups, key angles, and futures markets in the final episodes of Football Frenzy.
Seattle Seahawks get it done.
You look at these 2 teams and you say, wow, they did really well against quality opponents.
Brock Purdy to throw an interception tied up with the Seahawks in this game. I think that's a little bit of a correlation.
I would have given a huge ups to the Rams defensively. Not anymore.
Don't miss your chance to cash tickets and root for your favorite team. Stream Football Frenzy every Friday at noon Pacific.
right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. Time to go out to Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
All right, my man. There's a lot more. They keep dumping more Super Bowl proposition bets out there here in Las Vegas. Every day there's a new sheet with more proposition bets, and it's getting to where I think they've got everything covered that could possibly happen in the Super Bowl that you can bet on.
Yeah, they try. It's hard to figure out new prop bets to make, but I know later on today and into tomorrow, Ralph, I'm going to go around town and pick up as many of the Super Bowl reports, the prop bet reports as I can, and then start comparing numbers. I have some ideas in my head of players, situations that I'm looking for, and I did see something that an expert, a sports bettor more expert than I am, said that typically what you try to do is if you're going to bet the Super Bowl props the first week, uh, you tend to bet the overs, and then the second week, after the numbers get up a little bit, you tend to bet the unders. And a lot of pro bettors, Ralph, will bet unders that second week because people get a little too aggressive sometimes, and they want to see yardage. So they want to see runners with a lot of yardage, receivers with a lot of yardage, quarterbacks with a lot of yardage, and a lot of times the under is the way to go because it's the way the games play out.
Well, I know that the general public just wants to see a game that's fun. They want to see a lot of scoring. They want to see an exciting game, and that will lead to the overs on all the propositions you're talking about, because unless they go over those particular barometer of numbers that they have, it won't be exciting. So that the general public likes to see exciting games, and you're right. The general public will bet the overs more than that. So as that money comes in later, they have a chance to bring it back as far as betting from the number that they get, like right now this week. And I guess that 90% of all of the money that's going to come in, not the Sharpies. The Sharpies are out there already. But 90% of the handle of the Super Bowl, I guess, will be placed on between Friday and Saturday of Super Bowl week, like a week from today and a week from tomorrow. And they say that nowadays, with all of the other things that you have to do here in Las Vegas, and certainly with all of the Super Bowl parties that are available here in Las Vegas, that Sunday doesn't have as much volume before the actual start of the game on Sunday as it does on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, it's kind of like a horse race, Ralph. People like to bet a horse race closer to post time. They don't want to bet 20 minutes to post. They want to bet 60 seconds to post, or as close as they can. Same with sports betting. They want to bet closer to kickoff. If I could go on a tangent, I've been seeing some numbers posted for the cost of a seat in a sports book on Super Bowl Sunday. Ralph, when you've been in Vegas a lot longer than me, but since I moved into Vegas in '98, it used to be you could just reserve a seat in this book, and the sports book director would say, "Okay, Rich, you got this seat, or Ralph, you got this seat." Now they're selling them, and the seats. And we're not talking about 20, 40, $60. We're talking about hundreds of dollars,
My goodness,
dollars to reserve a seat in the sports book on Sunday to watch the Super Bowl.
Just in the regular sports book, if you were to walk in one of those sports books today, you'd find a seat and they wouldn't charge you anything. That same seat in that same book on Super Bowl day is going to cost you hundreds of dollars just to sit down before they allow you to take more money out of your pocket to make a bet on the game. Well, not here at the South Point, folks. So don't worry about it. They do it the old-fashioned way here at the South Point. So make sure you come on down. Walk in the door for free. Park your car for free. And just get here early, though, because people do save seats, like you say. But they're not going to charge you to sit down. Not in the books here. Good call there.
Well, that's old school, Ralph. Love to hear that. That's old school.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I've seen some of the prices that got to the ridiculous point. I've seen some prices for the Super Bowl, like parties, people going to different parties. But when you get to the point where you're going to start charging for the seat that's free today, tomorrow, or, on Super Bowl day, it gets a little bit, that's not the Vegas style, not at all. Okay. Well, Richie, I wish your horse would have ran second yesterday because we'd had the Siraco play in there with Jonathan, but we'll take another shot at it today. Where are you going?
Yeah, I like to bet $20 exacta boxes on the Siraco play, and if people had bet that yesterday, my horse was in the right position, turning for home, and then I see Jonathan's horse coming up, and I'm thinking we got a real shot at this, and then my horse fell apart the last 50 yards and ran third. Jonathan's horse wins, and a $20 box, say if the exact comes back $15, $20, that's a quick 400, quick dollars, and it would have been nice if my horse had just been able to hold on.
All I can say is that
anyway,
the at that denomination, you don't have to hit too many exacta Siraco plays, and the Siraco plays have been in a little bit of a ditch now. So we're going to see maybe by the weekend when you guys get together, maybe we can get another one going. I don't think we'll have one a Siraco play today. Where's your selection? I think I know where your selection is going to be.
Yeah, let's maybe a Siraco daily double because Jonathan likes a horse in the second at Santa Anita.
Yeah.
I like a horse in the first. Let's go with the number 6, Authentically. This is one of those better short priced than long face, Ralph. It's going to be hard to find horses to really love on today's Santa Anita card. But this horse is making that drop from maiden down to maiden 32. So just on class alone, as long as this horse can gallop. This is a very slow field. If you take a look at the speed figures of the other 5 horses, very slow field. Doesn't need to be much. 7-5 on the 6, Authentically in the first.
All right. First race at Santa Anita, number 6, Authentically. That's your pick. And, Jonathan's got a horse in the second race, so we'll go ahead and do a little double there, the 6-1 double, beginning in the first race with the 6. Richie's got a full sheet at Santa Anita right now at the racedaylasvegas.com websites. Thanks a lot, Rich. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, thanks, Rob. Good luck, everybody.
All right. One quick short break. We'll be right back.
We've got a fantastic football frenzy on deck for everyone. Alex White and Ryan McCormick here.
We'll be joined by SBC Hall of Fame bookmakers Vinny Maiulo of Gone Gaming and Johnny Avello from DraftKings.
Join us on YouTube at Sports by the Book, and we'll hear from the bookmakers on how things are for Super Bowl 60.
And about all the props that they have to offer. Join us at Sports by the Book on YouTube for Football Frenzy, noon Pacific. We'll see you then.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Well, all right, they got a real goodie today and the Football Frenzy Show that starts at noon right here on this streaming network because Alex will be joined by Vinny Maiulo. Alex and Ryan both will be joined by Vinny Maiulo and John Avello, the Race and Sports Operations Director for the Sportsbook DraftKings. Johnny will be here in studio along with Alex, Vinny, and Ryan. That'll be at noon. You're going to want to see it because there's something called the Super Bowl that they might be commenting on. That's at noon today on the streaming. Let's go to John Lindo standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
Oh, man. We've got people watching the show on the East Coast that are cringing seeing you in a T-shirt.
You're wearing short pants, too.
Yeah, man. That's
it's going to be in the high 70s down here today.
Indicative of the weather, that's for sure. John, let's quickly go to the update on the jockey and trainer standings today at Santa Anita.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, Umberto Rispoli is the leading jockey at Santa Anita with 15 wins, but he's going to be off for quite a while.
Yeah.
So currently he's the leader. Right behind him, you've got Kazushi Komura and Amiciel Jaramillo. They've each got 14 wins, and Juan Hernandez is right behind them with 13. So that's going to change this week. As far as the trainers go, Doug O'Neill has 12 winners. George Papadromo has 10. And then you have Bob Baffert and Mark Glatt. They've each got 9 wins, Ralph.
Favorites, John.
Favorites are 61 for 137 for the meet. That's 44.5%.
44.5% favorites. Wow. Well, all I can say is Doug O'Neill and Ismael Jaramillo are really connecting together with they have had a lot of wins so far in this short period of time.
Well, they sure have, and John Hardoon pointed that out at the beginning of the meet.
Yeah.
This was going to be a good combination, and he's spot on. Miciel's agent, Tom Canus, is a longtime friend of Doug O'Neill, and Doug's making sure they get off to a good starting in Southern California.
And that kid is producing as well. Well, we'll cut right to the chase, the Lindo Report, with the coast-to-coast Pick 5 on it, as well as all of the races today at Santa Anita and all that goody information. The Lindo Report available right now, free of charge, exclusively here at the South Point Racebook, only here at the South Point Racebook, and it's free of charge, complimentary, because they love horse players here. John, what are we doing today?
Well, not much meat on the bone on this card at Santa Anita. I'll go to race number 3. And number 5, East Boca Kibitz, really ought to get an easy trip in here. The speed is number 2, Tupelo. The 5, East Boca Kibitz, the only other speed, sits right outside, presses the pace, and at 5.5 furlongs is going to be good for this filly. And 2-1 on the morning line is really a fair price here. So number 5, East Boca Kibitz, race 3, Santa Anita.
All right, third race, you like the 5 in this race, East Boca Kibitz, the 5 in the third. Now I got a Siraco pick 3 with Richie's horse in the first race, number 6, John's horse in the second race, number 1, and your horse in the third race, number 5. That'll be a Siraco pick 3 as well. We're going to try to turn some chicken feathers into chicken soup here. And John Lindo's, of course, Lindo Report available right now here at the South Point. And John, we'll let you go, and we'll have more conversations tomorrow with you. But enjoy the sunshine in Southern California.
Yeah, well, at least we're racing today, Ralph. That's a plus.
Yes, that is, my man. Thank you so much. All right, now we're going to go to Jerry Jackowitz standing by. What the heck is that? Jerry, what is that? One of those psychedelic shirts you got on there?
Yeah. It's, Bob Weir.
Yeah.
Famous Robert Weir, who passed away about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, great.
I don't know. I was just getting into the mojo.
All right.
Sort of mourning his loss.
Okay, you got it, my man. Well, only
Grateful Dead.
Yes, the Grateful Dead. That's absolutely correct. I know you're inside because it's cold out here this morning, and with a short sleeve shirt, I'm sure it's warm in your office this morning. But in any case, you only have one sheet to do. You're almost on a semi-vacation here, with Aqueduct now canceling for the entire weekend as well. So what are we doing at Santa Anita today?
Well, we're going to go to the 5th race, Ralph.
Okay.
And what I always say is, anytime you have an odds-on horse that you think you might have a chance to beat, you're not going to beat him all the time, but if you think you have a chance to beat him, you should take your shot. And in the 5th race, I think Aloha Dreaming is a perfect example of a odds-on horse that has a great chance to go down. And you can see it. It's a filly who's lightly raised, who's losing ground in the stretch, and now they're putting her in for $10,000. Yeah, she might go out and win the race, but I'll take a shot against her with Morgan's Bluff, her stablemate.
Okay.
He's actually a very slow but persistent kind of horse who can close a little bit. 3-1, gets to Sormo for the first time. That's the one horse in the 5th race.
Okay.
And we'll play it to win and play the 1 over the 2-4-5, reverse 2-4-5 over the 1. Probably put a little extra on a 1-2-2-1 because that you have to sort of do. But it's all about the one horse, Morgan's Bluff, the 5th race. Slow horse with a big finish, I hope.
Okay, so in the 5th race, the anchor in the early pick 5 and early pick 4, you like the stable mate of Aloha Dreams, who's the 2 horse at even money on the morning line. You like the 1 Morgan's Bluff at 3-1, nice juicy there against his stable mate. So in the 5th race, you like the 1 over 2, 4, 5, and reverse, and of course the stable mate the 2, and expected to be the odds-on choice. You're going to do another 1, 2, 2, 1, correct?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
I'll let the payoffs tell me how much. I'm not going to run to overbet it. Let me put it to that.
All right. You got it, my man. Don't forget the rest of the Power Page is available right now for Santa Anita at jerryjspowerpage.com. Really that simple. There it is.
Easy to use, but very helpful.
Yes, it is. No doubt about that, Jerry. Okay, buddy. Say it.
Have a great race day, everybody.